Today's lesson is Module 4, Lesson 31, Problems in Mathematical Terms. We do have two sets of vocabulary words for today's lesson. The first one is called an independent variable. This variable changes and will affect what happens to the dependent variable. So the key word here is it changes. You can't do anything about it. It's going to change no matter what you do. Examples of these would be months, years, hours. Those are examples. Those are going to happen no matter what you do. You can't stop time. So those are examples of independent variables. Dependent variables depend or change based on the independent variable, meaning when the independent variable changes, then the dependent variable changes. Oops, I can't spell today. Dependent changes. So in today's lesson, they're going to give you different word problems. And you have to identify the independent and dependent variable and create an equation to show how you solved. So here's the word problem. I might push pause right here to take the time to write the word problem down and then press play when you're ready. Sarah reads 4 books each week. Let B be the number of books she reads each week. So I'm going to write that. B equals number of books read each week. And W be the number of weeks that she reads. W equals number of weeks. Determine which variable is dependent, which one is independent. Then write an equation to model the situation and make a table that shows the number of books read in under 6 weeks. So the first thing they want us to do is decide which one's dependent, which one's independent. Remember, independent means it's going to change no matter what you do. So in this case, the independent is the number of weeks. So I'm just going to write that down. And because that's the independent, then the number of books will be the dependent. Now when I organize my tables, I like to put my independent on the left side and my dependent on the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. You can draw a, let me plug in my computer. Draw a T-chart. We know we need to go to 6 weeks, so make sure it's at least 6 lines long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember I said independent on this side, so you're going to put number of weeks, or W, and on this side it's number of books, or B. Now it's time to fill in the chart. So in week 1, it says in the problem, every week she reads 4 books. So the first week she has read only 4 books. By the end of week 2, she now has read 8 books because that's 4 more from the week before. And we can go and fill in the rest of these and count down. We're at 12 at the end of week 3, 16 at the end of week 4, 20 at the end of week 5, and 24 at the end of week 6. The next part of the question says to write an equation to model the situation. Basically saying, how do you get from the independent to the dependent? Right? So this is independent. I'm going to fill that in. Well, if I'm given the number of weeks, or W, I know I need to multiply the number of weeks by the amount of books she reads in 1 week. The problem says she reads 4 books every week. Doesn't matter what's going on, every week she reads 4 books. So I know if I'm given the number of weeks and I multiply it by 4, I'm going to get the number of books. So the equation here is 4W equals B. You know, there's other ways you can write this. You could write 4W like this, or you can write 4 times W equals B. They're all the same. So this is the equation to model the situation. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Write down questions if you have it, and we'll talk tomorrow. Have a good night.